What up, YouTube? It's your boy Blingo back here with another video. Hope y'all all been living your truth. Now, today is a crazy video. Today's a good video. It's good. Now, I gotta give Akademiks some props because I said that he was not gonna go to any Kendrick Lamar show. I said he wasn't gonna do it at all. He was just talking the big one. But he actually went. He went to the Detroit show. Gotta give him his respect for that. But there is a small minor detail. Actually, it's a very big one. He didn't go with the crowd. He didn't go in the crowd. He got a suite. So he was away from everybody. So, of course, he's going to go to the Kendrick Lamar show and go get a suite instead of going with, everybody's at. But the thing is about that is he still got caught. They still caught him. They still ran up on him. Let's watch DeVille. Shout out to DeVille. He got all the details. He breaks it down very well. We're gonna react to that together. Let's go.
I'm in the middle of the trenches. I'm in the middle of the K-Boss right now.
So it looks like Akademiks didn't stop going to concerts. It looks like the weekend concert after getting lined up by his manager wasn't enough. It looks like he wanted to prove a point that he's still somebody that could go wherever he wants. And he decided to go to the GNX concert with Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Now, this wasn't really a good idea. You could see here he's in a suite. Now, if you don't know, a suite is a room that you pay for to see the show. It's a little bit more private, despite the view.
A little bit, bro. The suite is a great thing. If you guys never been to a suite, you guys should go to a suite. It's very expensive though, but it's very nice. It's very private. Very private. That's why he did it.
Looks very far from the the view that you would rather prefer. This is a place where people decide to go to if they want to have some privacy. Of course, Akademiks doesn't want to get bothered. There's a reason why he chose these seats. I'm assuming that he thought that he was safe being in the suite from the average fan, from the regular goers, from everybody else that's just normal buying tickets and just going to see the show. While he's in this suite, while he thinks that he has this privacy, he gets confronted. He gets confronted by none other than Anthony Saleh, which is Kendrick Lamar's manager, and Dave Free.
And Dave Free. Now, look, Dave Free, not no punk. You know what I'm saying? Dave Free is not no punk.
Which is Kendrick Lamar's business partner for PG Lang and longtime friend. Now, we all know that these two gentlemen were name dropped by Drake in the beef. Anthony Saleh was somebody that Drake was antagonizing before Kendrick Lamar had dropped any music, before he had dropped 616 in LA and all that. Drake was online talking smack about Anthony Saleh. He was putting posts online about him, doing all of these things, trying to get Kendrick Lamar to respond. It wasn't until 616 in LA had came out where Kendrick Lamar had said in the second verse, yeah, somebody lying. I could see.
I always thought that was corny because, why you dissing Anthony Saleh? And, why you dissing him? What he got to do with this? Your thing was against Kendrick. That was corny that y'all was talking about his manager and stuff. That was stupid.
The vibes on Ak, even he looking compromised. Let's peel the layers back. Ain't no brownie points for beating your chest, harassing Ant. Effing with good people make good people go to bat. So you could see clearly that this was somebody that was mentioned right after that bar about Akademiks was mentioned. It's funny how these two people have finally met up in person that were talked about in the 616 in LA verse.
That's so crazy. It's like everything Kendrick said, it kind of they all tie into each other. It's like it be coming to life. It's coming to sometimes, I don't know, man. It's crazy how it's coming to life. Everything he be saying.
Another person that pops up is Dave Free. We know that Dave Free was somebody that Drake had mentioned multiple times, has said a lot of things, accusing him of being the father of Kendrick's children. All of these outrageous things to say about Dave Free and Kendrick and their dynamic as a friendship, talking about their kids, talking about the wives and all of this stuff. Very inappropriate, but this was during the beef. And Dave Free was talked about by Drake and Anthony Saleh as well. Going back to Akademiks was somebody who was approached by Anthony Saleh and Dave Free. He thought that shit was sweet in this suite. He thought that he wasn't going to get touched. But it looks like after posting constantly at the concert, because he was posting this in his story at the same time as it's going on, eventually, I'm assuming in my mind, Anthony Saleh and Dave Free figured out where Akademiks was staying. Because right after Akademiks started posting to his story, they ended up meeting with him in the suite that he was staying in. Obviously, if they see that Akademiks is in one of the suites watching the show, they're just going to get the drop on him and find out where exactly he's at so they could go and confront him.
Exactly. And that's crazy. What is he? I wonder if Academics thought that he was going to get away with like going there, talking after all the trash he talked. I wonder if he thought he was going to be able to go there, go to the Detroit show. Maybe he was looking like, it's Detroit. Nobody's going to be over here. And like do whatever he wanted. Like, bro, they're going to catch you. That's why I said, like, if he go, that's why I said he's not going to go to a show. Because he know that somebody going to get him. But he actually went. He actually went. So I got to give him props for that. But they caught him. They caught him out there.
This is where they start to confront him. And eventually, after the scenario, Akademiks goes on live stream to talk about it.
Anthony Saleh, which I think is a manager. I think he's a manager. Me and him, we actually chopped it up. You know, we actually sat down, we were talking until Euphoria came out. Euphoria, I was like, hold on, brother, I gotta listen to Euphoria. And then Dave Free popped up. And me and Dave Free, you know, that was the first conversation since pretty much 2022, I think. And, you know, at the end of the day,
I don't know. Okay. It seemed like he's stuttering, he taking forever to talk. Like, what happened?
Positive vibes. Clearly, you know, they have a POV. I got a different POV. Most of all, I think the conversation was, they was trying to see, like, yo, are we into it or we? And I'm like, nigga, at the end of the day, I'm doing my job here. You get what I'm?
So clearly.
Oh, so now you're doing your job. Now at the end of the day, you're doing your job. Right? Like, so you do your job when you want to be biased and you want to talk trash about somebody else doing your job. Hold on, how could I say? I'm going to say this correct. You're doing your job in a way that is building and causing and starting narratives that is just not true. But you won't do your job that way when it came to Drake. You're only doing your job that way when it comes to people that you don't like. That's the problem. That's the problem. But let's keep it going.
Akademiks gets confronted. He doesn't want to say it, but he did get confronted.
Oh, yeah,
he was posting on his Instagram stories, acting like he was untouchable from the suite that was blocking everybody else from interacting with him. However, that wasn't going to interfere with Anthony Saleh and Dave Free getting ready to confront him. Don't let the calm demeanor fool you. Akademiks definitely got confronted by Anthony Saleh and Dave Free.
I'm saying my opinion is going to lean a certain way because y'all know what type of music I like. But, you know, one thing I did agree with them with, you know, some of this shit should de-escalate. And, you know, whether it's fan influenced or whoever else that's connected to it, if it's possible, especially when it brings in third parties and family or shit like that shit, there's no place for that.
But you're the one that's doing that. That's you. That's Akademiks that's doing. You see how the tone changes when the people come and really talk to him. You was talking mad crazy. You was talking about everything. Families, when you talk about Absol and all them, that's family. When you talk about Punch and all that, that's family. You're talking about them. Now, granted, Absol did it first. He dissed you first, so I get it. But you talking about, well, actually, no, I don't get it because you like been doing some crazy junk. My bad, guys. But yeah, he's the one who was starting it, and he's starting the narrative. So, like I said, I get it with Absol. He did kind of diss you, but you was dissing the family first. So you don't try to play this game now. No.
Not shit that I'm necessarily doing because I don't speak about, give two fucks about, you know, talking about that. But at the end of the day, you know, I think there were respectful conversations. I think they understand my POV. Yeah, brother, at the end of the day, Drake my favorite artist. Like, my nigga, like, what do you I don't care if I show up here today or tomorrow, the next day. Cool. Now, I understand their POV too. Bro, you know, cool. You could kind of fall over that type of side when it comes to your music opinions. But, man, that battle been over, man. We're not trying to keep digging holes where now people are, you know, people that ain't public with it. So, you know, when we talking about, like, families, and don't bring families.
It's just so funny to me because Akademiks acts very...
How dare he? How dare he? Bro, how dare you, bro? Don't even start that. You could have been stopped. You could have been stopped. You went to the show talking big and mighty before you even went to the show. Yeah, I'm popping out. Yeah, I'm popping out the K-Bots. This K-Bots, like you keeping it up. Just let it go. Go enjoy the show, and that's it.
Dismissive in this scenario. He acts like, hey man, this beef has been running on for too long. I mean, none of us should really be going at it like this. I know I understand your point of view and I have my own point of view, but it's like, bro, you have Akademiks TV, you have that Twitter channel, you have that Twitter account that's run by somebody else, constantly posting about Kendrick Lamar and other things, trying to talk down on them, and then the other thing is that when you say things, it gets repeated by other people because you keep covering it. However, the conversation continues. And Akademiks says that they had told him more. I just think that it's funny how dismissive he acts in public, but he has a lot to say about the beef and others when he's in private, when he's by himself. The tone definitely changes.
Exactly. The tone changes a lot because he's not built like that. Those are the kind of people that live on the internet. It's like they don't know real life. They don't know it. It's like, this is real life. And honestly, you can't even blame them. You got to blame the generation. You can't blame them. But it's like you try to tell them, like, yo, this is not real. Like, when you have to come outside someday, you're going to run into people that you pissed off. Now, it's okay to have your opinion on things. It's okay for Drake to be your favorite artist. It's okay. But don't start being biased. Don't start building narratives and stuff about other people. Because you don't know who knows them people. You don't know. That's real life. But on the internet, you don't got to worry about none of that. So, and that's all they know. And that's the problem.
When he's in front of these people face to face, kind of like how Drewski was in front of Kendrick Lamar yesterday or the day before. Akademiks is trying to take the stance about not bringing families into it. He's going to try to defend Drake when Drake was the one that was talking about family in the first place.
It's the first time I talked to Dave Free in a while. I'm gonna pray for. I did say this to Anthony Saleh. I said the reality of what's happening now, because one thing I could say, okay? Both of them agreed and said, we understand that this musical feud is divisive. It has been good for music, and we did our thing and we're happy about it. But it is at the point where it's gotten personal, and the parts we don't like about it is when ancillary people get consistently thrown in the mix. Their lives are people are picking apart, people are digging into this, that, and the third about this, that, and the third. And what I told both of those men, because they even said, yo, act like, like some of your platforms echo some of this stuff.
A lot of the things that are
all of it, all of them. Akademiks TV, regular DJ Akademiks, the other one, the Grand Wizard, all of them do that stuff, bro. And that's the problem. Y'all know y'all could do that on the line. That's why you're doing it on the freaking internet, bro. You don't understand what real life is. Now they come to your face and he's like, yo, everybody got to change. Everybody got to stop. We all got to stop doing this stuff. We can't talk about it. Why are you here? Why are you at the GNX tour? So you could sit there and critique it and talk trash about it. That's honestly why you're here. To nitpick it. Come on, bro.
Repeated are coming from Akademiks himself. A lot of things that are being said online are usually things that are stemming from Akademiks' alternate account on Twitter. Akademiks is going to try to claim that these narratives are going on both sides. But when it came to Dave Free and Anthony Saleh, one thing that you have to understand is that Drake was the person that had brought these individuals up. He could have just talked about Kendrick Lamar. And that's another thing, too. I don't think that Kendrick would have brought up the family. I don't think that he would have brought up his dad, his mom, his son, not even the people on his team like Baca and everybody else like that. If it was just one-on-one, let's just talk about each other, I don't think it would have gotten that far. But we all know, as history goes, Drake was the one that brought up everything himself. He was the one that brought up family and friends. It says Drake keeps trolling, this time sharing a pic of the manager of Kendrick Lamar in Future. Is today the day? This is what he had posted when he shares this. He says, wonder if today is the day. Now, keep in mind, this post was on April 16th, 2024. It wasn't until May 3rd where Kendrick was going up and defending Anthony Saleh and Dave Free after this. So clearly, the person that was talking about Anthony Saleh and everybody else first was Drake. And the people that Drake had mentioned are now confronting Akademiks. Why? Because they want to see, how close are you to Drake? What's going on with you and Drake? Similar to how The Weeknd and his manager had lined him up in the last concert, except in this case, I think Akademiks ended up lining himself up by getting too confident after that Weeknd concert. I'm going to just be real.
You're acting like this is on one side. This is happening on both sides.
It's not really happening on Kendrick's side no more. I don't really hear Kendrick. There's no media person that is out there pushing no narratives against Drake. There's that using Kendrick. You know what I mean? There's nobody. I don't see that. I only see narratives being pushed at Kendrick, like, you know, the fake and negative narratives being pushed towards Kendrick. I don't really see that happening towards Drake. With Drake, you really don't have to push a narrative. You just look at everything he's doing, to be honest. Not, you know.
So if you feel like this thing has gotten too personal and you don't like when this happens and this happens, you have to realize there's fans, blogs, or whoever doing that to the other side. And I told Anthony, I said, brother, at some point, y'all don't got to be friends, but y'all need to come together to kind of calm the fans down, because right now they think they're beefing like Bloods and Crips. If you're saying you don't like when wives are put up on screen, you don't like when wives are being discussed, you don't like when daughters, sons, I don't think Drake likes when his son gets mentioned, or his baby mama, or his sexual history, or his lack thereof, or making assumptions about what he may have. This is happening on both sides. So, you know, when I hear them put that frustration out to me, I agree.
What big name or big media platform is being pushed like that towards Drake? Like, I'm talking about as the media person or the platform. Nobody is talking trash about Drake like that. Maybe the fans, of course, the fans are going to do that. If you go to Kendrick Lamar Reddit page or whatever. But if you go to Drake's Reddit page, it's the same thing. The fans are going to do that. But there is not a media person that's trying to destroy Drake like you're trying to destroy Kendrick Lamar. Stop it, bro. You lying. You are dead lying right now. You know you are dead wrong. Talking about they need to come to, it's like they like moving like the Bloods and Crips. No, it's one-sided right now. Kendrick is just doing his song. He's doing, it's a diss record towards Drake. It's a diss record towards Drake. But it's a hot song right now. It's a hot song right now. And that's what he's going to perform it and everything until, you know, on the tour, until it's over. That doesn't mean that the beef is continuing. I'm not going to just stop, but it doesn't mean that I'm still beefing with you. You're still beefing with, Drake is still beefing with Kendrick. Kendrick is not really beefing with Drake no more, but I think Kendrick is ready to take it there if Drake says something, but Drake ain't gonna say nothing. Stop it, bro. Stop, bro. You just saying that because they've confronted you.
But it's a mutual in a both ways thing that I don't think, even if they're like, all right, Act, could you not amplify certain things? Well, there's other things being amplified. We're usually trying to just be a neutral arbiter. Now, obviously, sometimes, and I'm speaking about like, you know, extensions of other pages that clearly are in the fold, we may lean a certain type of way because, fuck with Drake.
Those alternate pages are going to be Akademiks pages that I was just talking about. And like I said, the person that was always talking about the people that were getting involved first was Drake. The family involved, Drake. The people that are confronting him now, Drake had mentioned those people first.
He said, Act, why you put that boy on your stream? He got me in Drake's case. And I said, dog, you know I've put people on stream that accuse Drake of whatever. You see, that's the thing that, you know, I stand full steadfast on that.
Anthony Saleh has questioned.
All right, I'll give him that. That's fair. That's fair. He put people on the stream that did go at Drake a little bit. He did. The Julian dude. He was going at Drake a little bit. So I give him that. He did have that. He did do that.
Akademiks about the bot streaming. He tells them, why did you talk about me with that alleged whistleblower talking about the pay for stream, the payola that you were accusing us of? Because it was in that stream where Akademiks was named in the lawsuit accusing Anthony Saleh paying somebody to a fake or bot stream, not like us. It says whistleblower claims contact was with Anthony Saleh, the guy Drake kept posting over and over again. However, it was dismissed because there wasn't enough evidence to prove that that was accurate. Not only that, in a later stream, Akademiks was talking to Wack 100 where Akademiks had said himself out his own mouth that he had spoke to somebody from Spotify and they denied the Not Like Us botting rumors. He said that he had talked to his man on Spotify and said that the Kendrick streams are real. So all those allegations about Anthony Saleh and all these things about bot streaming, the minute that he saw Akademiks, he confronted him about that. Why did you talk about me like that and put me in that boy's lawsuit? But the next thing that comes out of Akademiks' voice is very interesting because this is when, out of his own accord, starts to talk about Julian. We know about Julian. Everybody knows where's Julian.
They really pressed him. Like, why'd you talk about me like that and put me inside that boy's lawsuit, man? Like, that wasn't even true, bro. That wasn't even true. Like, that's crazy. Like, why is K-bot even a term at this point? Why is it even a term? If you said that you spoke to your man at Spotify and they said the streams were real, why is a K-bot even a term? Because wasn't the K-bots running up the stream? They were bots, right? Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's like narratives, guys. You got to pay attention to the narratives and propaganda. It's a lot of lying and this stuff that's crazy.
The situation with Top 5 and all of that. But he tries to use this as an example that he covers everything, despite it being at Drake's expense.
He got me in Drake's case, and I said, dog, you know I've put people on stream that accuse Drake of whatever. You see, that's the thing that, I stand full steadfast on that. I put somebody on my stream named Julian. He said Drake scammed him of millions of dollars. Then you had the K-bots who said Drake. That didn't help Drake. But what am I? I'm a media outlet.
Now remember, Julian was the guy that people are accusing of Top 5 Bunt Dog being responsible of the disappearance of, allegedly. This is just the rumors and speculation that Akademiks ends up talking about. He's trying to make the point that he had brought this up despite it being more harmful to Drake than it would be to Kendrick Lamar. But my speculation is he used Julian as an example in this scenario to not only prove that he's willing to talk about things that would be bad for Drake, but at the same time mentioning this is also saying, I just covered this story. I don't know how deep the story goes. I let him on my platform and speak, but that's all I did, is what Akademiks is saying. And I feel like he's doing this to cover himself up from things that could have happened, alleged to have happened, whatever the case may be. But this story is very deep considering the whole situation with Top 5, Julian, him telling him about Cash XO and how he knows about his house getting shot up and all of these things, right?
All these pussies. Even Drake is scared to get a little Rico today. When I fucking get the Russian government, I fucking call the U.S. embassy and play him all these fucking voice notes that Top sent me about shooting up the fucking weekend manager's house and hitting the security guard.
People have accused.
Yo, I hope everything's good with that guy Julian, man, because he was saying some stuff. I don't know if it's true or not, but he was saying some wild stuff about Drake, Top 5, all of them. But nobody heard from him. I hope he's all right.
Julian of being missing. Nobody knows where Julian is right now. And the last time we had seen him online, he was getting into an argument with Top 5 on Akademiks live stream, where Top 5 said that he was going to get him touched by Bundog. Bundog was going to handle his business for him over there in Dubai. If you'd like to know more about that story, you could check out my channel. But I feel like Akademiks brings this up to distance himself from the scenario. I'm not afraid to talk about it because I'm not involved in it. However, it seems like it's somewhat of a dry snitch, considering that you're friends with Top 5 and people are accusing Drake and Top 5 of this horrendous thing, allegedly.
Day Free had a moment. He asked me, he said, he said, what are you getting from this? He says, is he paying you? And that was the most insulting thing and I had conversations with these men for a while. But the very idea that I was like a purchasable commodity was so disgusting. I reminded him, I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've been doing this for over 15 years. How did you think I became me? I said, you knew about me before this shit. How did you think did you think I was a cheap hoe that just could be bought?
And this goes back to me saying,
that don't mean that it was cheap. He could be paying you big amounts of money, plus he's your favorite rapper. So you might do it for him. You know what I'm saying?
That Akademiks really doesn't want to choose a side in this beef. I think that Akademiks, after experiencing the situation with The Weeknd, Cash XO, Top 5, Drake, all of this stuff going on with Kendrick Lamar as well, I think he's starting to realize that he bit off more than he could chew. Yeah. And now he's trying to say that he stands alone against all of the things that have been going on. I think Akademiks knows more than he lets on. And I think that he knows so much that it's time for him to steer away from everything else. Let me do this thing. Let me go to Kendrick Lamar's concert. Let me go to The Weeknd's concert to let people know that I'm a neutral. that I'm just trying to cover this stuff. Yeah, I have a bias. Yeah, Drake is my favorite artist, but I'm just covering these things. I'm not trying to pledge any alliance to anybody. But this only comes after Top 5 gets shot up, after one of his friends loses his life, after things start getting very scarce, after the lawsuit starts getting very serious. Discovery is going to start to come out. In the lawsuit, he's already trying to blame Kendrick Lamar for the shooting, despite the shooting happening in Toronto where everybody else is getting shot at. It only makes me feel like things are getting hot in the kitchen and Akademiks is trying to break out. He's trying to get out of there. And I think the cover up for him going to this concert was to try to act like he could do this. I could go to these concerts. I went to the Weekends. Now I could go to Kendrick's just to show them that I can. But I think it goes back to why he went to the Weekends concert in the first place, to show people that I'm not really aligned with Drake like that. But why all of a sudden? Why do you want people to think that? A year and a half later, and it seems like you're distancing yourself from everything, from all of the chaos. And it's funny that it's happening now after all the people that supported Drake are beefing with each other. And it got to the point, in my opinion, where Dave Free had to ask him, bro, were you getting paid? Are you getting paid? Because why are you going so hard the way that you are?
That's the question we all ask. Why are you going so hard if you're not getting paid? You're not getting paid. You're not getting nothing from Drake. He's not shouting you out like that. He's not coming on your stream. He's not doing nothing. So why are you going so hard?
And Akademiks gives him a lot of pushback. He's like, look, bro, I'm not like that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to cover everything, and that's why I'm here. It's funny how the tone changes when these guys you've been disrespecting with Drake are in front of your face. Almost like he knew that people were starting to align himself with Drake and his people a lot more, to where he started to look like a guilty party. Akademiks' defense to all of this is to try to say that they never contacted him after this beef had unfolded. He said that he talked to Dave Free in the past, but he lost connection with him after the beef. I wonder why. It looked like you were aligning yourself with them heavily since the beef started.
His idea was, well, if you're not getting paid by this guy, if Drake ain't paying you, why do you lean that much in that direction? And I was like, huh? I've never gotten paid. Like, the people who I've defended the most, I've never gotten paid from. That was something that I was a little taken aback by, because I couldn't believe it. And I think Dave Free's a very intelligent guy. I couldn't believe he thought that I was getting paid to maybe have the opinions or the POV that I have.
And I think that Akademiks is being real offended by what Dave Free had said. It is for the same reason why he's trying to be independent now. He wants to act so offended so that way he could sell it to people, so he could try to sell the idea that he's been trying to cover it from the start from both sides.
But y'all got to remember, Akademiks done admitted that he is the master of narratives and pushing narratives. He said that himself. But guys, propaganda, narratives, all that is a big thing in the internet. They all do that type of stuff. All of them, freaking all the streamers, Kai and Duke Dennis, all them guys, all these guys push narratives, because the more you push narratives, the more they kind of come to life. You know what I'm saying? And it grows and it grows and it grows. Like, that's, and then random people just start believing it, and they do that on purpose. You know, they do that on purpose. So I don't know if he's getting paid or not. I always felt like he was, but he's trying to act like he's not. But I still think that he was. But the video is getting mad long. I'm gonna leave the link to this video in the description. There's still another 3 minutes or so. And yeah, guys, let me know what you think about him getting caught out there, man. I think he's well deserved. I think he's seeing that how hot the kitchen is starting to get, and he's trying to get out of the kitchen. And they're starting to see what real life is when you start making things messy like this. Same with Drewski. You see how it really is, how uncomfortable you're gonna feel when it's time to go outside. That's why you don't sit there and talk trash about people that you know nothing about, just to defend your man that you know nothing about. So, or know very little about, you know? You know him through his music, yeah, and I know I get that feeling. Sometimes it feels like you know somebody when you listen to their music so long. Like, I do feel like I know Drake. I do feel like I know Nas. I feel like I know Jay. These people, I listen to their music a lot. I feel like I know Kanye West, or I used to know him. You know what I mean? But that's just what it is, you know? Don't be like that. Don't be like Akademiks, man. Don't go defending people that you know nothing about. Okay? Because I had a couple people out here defending DDG and stuff like they know him. I'm sorry, y'all don't know him. Y'all don't know him. And you're probably never going to. Okay? That's just the honest truth. But guys, let me know what y'all thought in the comments. Y'all think Akademiks is telling the whole truth? You think he sugarcoating it and making it sound a little lighter? Yeah, I think he deserved it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, Blingo40, Shop Vero, VeroClothing.net. And then I'll see y'all to the next video. Peace.